If you know anything about this person, if you've done any research regarding her time in Washington's District of Criminals, you know that she is part of the criminal elite. And it seems like she takes every opportunity she can to showcase her deeply rooted psychopathy. Of course, we're talking about progressive hero Maxine Waters. She is currently representing California's 43rd Congressional District in Congress since 1913. And this is Maxine's house. It's a 6,000 square foot, $4.1 million mansion in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Los Angeles. The question is, how does somebody who spent the last 40 years of her life working in government get the money to buy such a spectacular estate? And how does she keep getting reelected despite not living in her own congressional district? The district Waters represents in Congress actually has the second highest percentage of African American residents in the state of California. And yet, the neighborhood in which Maxine actually lives is just 6% black. Or, as she might put it herself if she didn't live there, it's segregated, like 1950s level segregation. Guys, this video is sponsored by Virtual Shield VPN. This is the virtual private network I personally use to hide my activity and even my location from government spies, internet hackers, data miners, and even my own internet service provider. Now through the end of the month, you can use my code in the description to get the best VPN deal in the world for only $275 a month. Now, back to the video. Many times, she's been accused of corrupt practices. According to an article written by Chuck Neubauer and Ted Rorlick, published in the leftist Los Angeles Times no less in 2004, Maxine's relatives had made over $1 million by doing business with people that were helped by her, which makes for a nice little conflict of interest and causes honest people to question her ethical practices. She was also accused by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington of corruption. They added her to their report of corrupt members of Congress in 2005, 2006, 2009, and 2011 to the point where she had to be investigated by the House panel for ethical violations. Now, recent video evidence revealed that Maxine had escaped from the DC asylum long enough to gather a crowd of zombies while she instructed them to surround, harass, and push back on Trump cabinet members.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And that brings us to this latest petition created a couple days ago. It already has 54,422 signatures and states, "It's time for Maxine Waters to go. Waters has crossed a dangerous line, calling for attacks and violence against all Trump officials." What Waters said when she called on Americans to push back against Trump officials and make it impossible for them to shop, eat out, or go to gas stations is one of the most irresponsible statements anyone could have said, let alone a so-called Democrat leader. Now, it was definitely an irresponsible and kooky statement. But the let alone a so-called Democrat leader part? Those kinds of statements from political leaders are pretty commonplace and not at all out of the ordinary. And we are talking about Maxine Waters. She's pretty much guaranteed to say something stupid every time she opens her mouth. It's especially dangerous to call for public attacks at a time in our country when liberals are so wildly unhinged and violent, have no control over their emotions, and are brainwashed by fake news and hoodwinked by lying, sleazy politicians like Maxine Waters. Under the circumstances, censure is not enough for Maxine Waters. Waters should face expulsion for what she's done. Now, you can sign this petition if you want to, but here's my take on it. Leave Mad Maxine in there. All politicians are slimy and deceptive, and it's that deception that gives them such power over the people. Maxine is not deceptive at all. I know she's still followed by many people, but these are the people who want to take their poison straight. You don't even have to try to deceive these people. People like Maxineites are way past the point of no return. Let crazy Maxine continue to roam the marble hallways of Washington's District of Criminals. The way I see it, if you have known asylum patients roaming free in Washington, while the more deceptive snake oil salesmen continue to tolerate her in all her insane glory, maybe, just maybe, it'll speed the Great Awakening where people realize we don't need the creeps in Washington, D.C. All politicians are staying silent about the sinister Federal Reserve, interfering with our lives, taking our money, or sending our sons and daughters off to the gristmill of war. So stay in Washington, Maxine. It really looks good on you. And you know that wall people are talking about? What we really need to build a wall around is Washington, D.C. That way, we can keep all the lying, stealing psychos in one place. And as a parting gift and a reminder for you, here's crazy Auntie Maxine in all her unhinged glory. As always, leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below.
I want to play some sound from a recent LGBT event that you were at that has drawn a lot of criticism. Let's listen to it.
Wow, what a moving evening this is. I am sitting here listening, watching, absorbing, thinking about Ali, even though I never met him. And with this kind of inspiration, I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Those words have been interpreted as an attempt on the president's life. How did you intend them?
That's absolutely ridiculous. Nobody believes that a 79-year-old grandmother who is a congresswoman and who has been in Congress and in politics for all of these years talking about doing any harm. The only harm that I may be doing to the president is I want him impeached. And those people who are so opposed to my leadership on impeachment are organizing the right wing, the white nationalists, the KKK. They've organized an effort to try and, of course, defeat me in my election coming up and to discredit me. Everybody knows that I'm on the front lines, not talking about any physical harm to anybody, but I am talking about impeachment, and I'm not going to stop.
It's classified and we can't tell you anything. All I can tell you is the FBI director has no credibility.
Congressman, we're just, in case you can't see, showing video of you standing on the aisle and shaking a number of presidents' hands over the years, both Republicans and Democrats. So my final question to you, Congressman Engel.
No, you have not. Excuse me.
He's talking to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had been talking to me about standing on the aisle and shaking hands.
No, I'm sorry, Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
Yes,
I'm talking to Congressman Engel, who has stood there and we've shown over the years.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that, for the confusion.
He is wrapping his arms around Putin while Putin is continuing to advance into Korea.
Our millennials are a force. I recognize it, and I was the millennial once. No longer, of course. I was the millennial once.
I do not wish to debate. I wish to ask, is there one United States senator who will join me in this letter of rejection?
There is no debate. The gentlewoman will suspend.
I have not called for impeachment.
You said I'm going to fight every day until he's impeached. That's what you tweeted.
Yeah, but here's what I've said.
My greatest desire is to lead him right into impeachment. Impeach 45. Impeach 45. Impeach 45.
Guys, don't forget to take a second to go to the highimpactflix.com website and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. One way or another, we're going to fight censorship. Hopefully, the people at YouTube will get their heads out of their asses long enough to realize that thinking people on their platform aren't going to tolerate their tyrannical tactics for much longer. But I wouldn't hold my breath. Guys, if you like what we're doing here on this demonetized, censored channel, and you want to support the effort, the Patreon, PayPal, and Bitcoin links are below. If you want to support the channel by grabbing a shirt or two, check out the new in-your-face designs like Black Rifles Matter, Escape from California, Taxation is Legalized Theft, and Sheepvolution. I'm adding new designs every week, and I do take design requests, so check back often. Thank you guys for subscribing, watching, sharing, and especially for all your kick-ass, thoughtful comments. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored, demonetized video.
Stick around.